Today's session, proudly brought to you by ProTrader, of course, is we're going to be discussing what is a trader. What is a trader? Let's drill deep. What does it actually mean to be a trader? Obviously, we know, there are traders out there. People that place trades does not make you a trader. Very, very, very important there, right? Just because you place trades, you open a brokerage account. Every man and his dog today have a trading account or a brokerage account and they place trades. That doesn't make them a trader. We're going to drill deep as to what does it actually mean as a trader, to be a trader. What is it that makes you different as a professional trader and a punter? Sometimes I've referred to them as punters and professionals, right? Punter is what I determine as anybody who just goes out and again places trades without any of the 5 categories that we're going to go through today, or with only a few of them, 2 or 3. You must have all 5 of these categories or concepts or philosophies, in my opinion, to be a skilled professional trader. Let's jump into it. What is a trader? Mastery of health. And what is health? The life force that drives all things. Every great trader I know prioritizes their health above most of, or the general public. Sleep, exercise, nutrition. Your sleep, exercise, and nutrition, adversity quotient shouldn't be in there. That's on the next slide. Don't know how he weaseled his way in. But your sleep, exercise, and nutrition are the 3 pinnacles, I believe, of health. We're talking specifically physical health, like just keeping the well-oiled machine ticking along. Right, we're not talking mental health just yet. We've got a section for that. But your sleep, your quality of sleep is incredibly important. Are you sleeping in a cool, dark room? A lot of studies are coming out. Believe it or not, you've got 10,000 light receptors in your eyelids or in your eyes, right? When your eyelids are closed, if you're one of these folks that sleeps with LEDs and TVs and like lights and things in your bedroom, that does have an ongoing detrimental effect. I rank my sleep, or I prioritize my sleep very, very highly. This idea or this notion of and this is kind of how trading is different than traditional business. That traditional business is net amount of work done, not necessarily the quality of work, but how much work you get done, how much, and this is what hustle culture has promoted, right? Do more work, get better result. And that does, for the most part, work in most businesses, right? When I was stockbroking, same thing. The more you hustle, the more events you go to, the more galas and balls you go, and the more business cards you hand out, the more people you spread yourself far and wide to, the more clients you're going to get. Now, that is also balanced with talent and skill, of course, but then talent plus skill multiplied by amount of work done, the better. So this is where sleep takes a toll. You're only sleeping maybe 4, 5, 6 hours or less, many nights. Exercise, the gym, that kind of falls to the wayside. Now, exercise doesn't necessarily need to be the gym and weightlifting, although that does show, studies show that there is a lot of, for both men and women, lifting heavy stuff, lifting heavy weights has got a lot of benefits, not just physically and how you look. Like, I don't go to the gym to look great, although it is great to look great, but it's to feel great. It's about your neural chemistry, which we're going to cover later. The emotional and hormonal implications of moving your body, of exercising. And then likewise with nutrition as well. Every so often, every 3 months, I do a hair or a tissue mineral analysis, right? This is where I go and I give some hair, I send it to a lab in the United States, and they send me back this 45-page report. It costs about 200 Australian dollars, so it's not a bad deal. And this gives you a lot of stuff here. You don't need to be a neuroscientist to understand what it's talking about. But the most simple and exciting part is this little chart that you get here. And as I said, I do this every so often because, again, health is incredibly important when it comes to your trading. If you're somebody if your physical body is breaking down, it's going to have implications on your mental health, which is going to have implications on the work that you do. So let's just go back to the analogy I was talking about before with traditional work and the hustle culture. Net work done, quantity of work done equals money made, more or less, right? Or of result that happens. Now, trading is not the same. Hustle culture, if you're feeling sick or under the weather, or you've just had an argument with the partner and you're just not feeling good, but you show up and you give it 20%, or you give it 30% or 50%, you give it the most that you give it all that you got, you're gonna progress along still a bit, not as much as if you showed up at 100%, but you're still progressing in the right direction, right? Trading is the opposite. If you're showing up anything less than 90%, you're going to do damage. It's going to be quite detrimental to your trading account. You're going to be taking low quality trades. You're going to be susceptible to emotional turmoils, whims. You're just not going to be balanced and poised, which is what requires you to trade. So there are many days that if you're not feeling up to it, don't show up to the charts. You're better off not showing up. You're actually going to make more money, save more in losses than by showing up. So this is where the hustle culture doesn't work. So if your sleep is less than optimal, if your exercise is less than optimal, which sleep and exercise are the key drivers of your hormonal state, which is a key driver to your emotional state, and emotional trading, if you're susceptible to that, you're better off getting those two right first, right? Then that'll help balance you out a lot. And then nutrition is another, they also play into that. So as you can see here, what is this? I don't really share this publicly. I mean, I don't have any reason to, but I'm quite copper deficient here. My aluminium, this is the primary thing that I'm working on right now. My aluminium on my previous test 3-4 months ago was at 1.41. So it was up here as like 1.5. You could imagine where it was. Now my current test, it's 0.83. Great news. So it's coming down, but it's still too high. These are the toxic metals. These are the ones that we don't want at all. Right, mercury's up a bit. Interestingly, it doubled when I went to New Zealand. We were eating a lot of tuna over there. I don't use any body sprays or anything like that. I use cologne, but I don't use any like antiperspirants because they are known to be high in aluminium. But mercury often comes from from big fish, like from swordfish, tuna, those kind of things. So different people are predisposed differently. Genetically might be more susceptible to mercury toxicity or aluminium toxicity or arsenic or cadmium or lead or whatever. So I'm kind of going down a rabbit hole here. But as a professional trader, and these are minor adjustments and amendments, right, to make to your trading. What I love about trading is that it promotes health and wellness, right? It promotes longevity. How I perform in the markets directly correlates with the health and well-being, which means that if I'm investing in things like this to check the oil of the well-oiled machine, like where is my aluminum at, where's my mercury at, where's my copper is deficient, my iron is slightly low, which is surprising because I do eat a lot of red meat. Potassium's too high, I've got to slow down eating the bananas. These little things, if I'm not doing the tests, I don't know, right? So you don't have to do the tests like when you're starting out early, because one of these other 5 areas that we're going to be covering you might be worse off in one of those. You look at the worst things first and address them. So my aluminium was incredibly high. It's trending down, good, but that's still my primary thing that I'm working on. Copper, that's also significantly too low. And interestingly, it actually went down 0.9 down to 0.8. Many of you might have seen that for quite a while, I was drinking from a copper drink bottle. It helped a little bit, but not really. So I need to be drinking more or supplementing copper. So these little things, and this goes on, there's a whole bloody 45-page document of all sorts of things. I'm a fast oxidizer. What does that mean? As a fast oxidizer, the most important principles of a diet for you are eat at least 1 high-fat containing food with every meal, right? So I'm naturally like a low-carb, high-fat. This just always was worked for my body type. I started CrossFit a while back. Well, I was doing it a few years ago. I still do it. But a lot of people were saying, oh, you got to eat more carbs. I ate more carbs, and I ended up getting bloated and like to the point I had to actually go to the doctor at one stage because I just like swelled up like a balloon because I was eating too many oats. So knowing what's going on, so you reduce carbs, don't eat starches and sugars, even fruit sugars. Like social media will tell you, oh yeah, fruit's good, fruit's healthy, and it is, and eat a bit of sugar, but reduce it. Don't have too much. Also reduce whole wheat, whole rye, oats, unless sprouted, and high phytate. So like this document here is a testament to show that we are all different. And as a trader, like the way you trade is the way you think. Your genetic makeup is going to be different than mine. So these are the things that unfortunately I can't teach in a curriculum because we are all different. So you almost need to become your own lab, your own science lab. Jules says, well, it's better than a blood test. Yeah, that's what's that called? So I can get it done. So that's just called I just call it a hair mineral analysis, but it's a tissue mineral analysis. But it has a lot of things. It has different. It has your adrenal fatigues. It has your oxidization rate if you're fast, slow. So each one it says, okay, so oxidization rate, slow oxidization. What does that mean? What is fast? What is mixed? And then it says what you are, your oxidization. So it explains each one here. So exhaustion stage, alarm stage, resistance stage, exhaustion stage, which is adrenal fatigue. Apparently, I'm currently in an exhaustion stage of stress. Now, I do love running on stress hormones. I love my cortisol and adrenaline. I like to leave things to the last minute to get them done, but I notice it does wear me out over time. I like that fight or flight stage. That's what kind of gives me, jacks me up. But I'm tapering off caffeine and coffee, right? Not that I'm a coffee addict. I cycle a few different things. I cycle between coffee, matcha, yerba mate, and nicotine. Nicotine via nicotine chewing gum. I never smoke. I'm a hard believer. Obviously, don't smoke. It's terrible for you. But I cycle those 4 things. There's a lot of good benefits to all of that. I never take all 4 of them at the same time, and I do like 6 weeks of each. So right now I'm on my mushroom coffee. You guys all know that. Low sodium potassium, what does it actually mean? It says like skin, health, all sorts of fantastic stuff, guys. I don't want to go down too much of a rabbit hole here. But yes, you are your own science lab. Like, you got to be doing these tests and things. Consider yourself, rather than a hustler, grinder, business, startup owner, think of yourself as a professional athlete or a professional, as a A-list celebrity, right? To show up, to be the best you possibly can be on stage or on the playing field. You got to be doing these things, right? You got to be thinking like the greats, and that's what the mastery of health is all about. Cool. Moving on. Mastery of mind.